everyone. Welcome to our New Year, New Goals webinar. We're very excited. We're hosting this one with Cahoot. Thank you for joining, and let's just get started. So, our agenda for today is we're going to do a brief intro to our platform in case you're new to it, and to our speakers as well, so you guys can get to know them. And then we're going to dive into how you can set up your business for success in the new year. And then Kahoot is going to tell us some great things about 3PLs. And then we're going to do a brief Q&A session. So if you guys have any questions, be sure to drop them in the Q&A box so that we can get those or get to those at the very end. If you're new here, this is a brief intro into our console. So what you're seeing on your screens right now. You obviously have your slides there and your speaker player there, but then we also have some boxes that are very important for you guys. We have the Q&A box, which is where you can drop in your questions for our panelists. We have our chat, where you can chat with fellow audience members and with us as well. And then we have a quick survey there that we'd really appreciate if you could take just a few minutes out of your time to answer that. And then we have a button right at the very top where you can schedule a meeting with one of our experts. You can book that call at any time during the event, and we'll get you connected with one of our experts so that you can get your FBA business set up for success in 2024. And then you can also claim your free ad audit with Mayan. We're going to talk about that at the very end, so stick with us. But that's a very relevant asset that you can really claim to really set up your FBA business for success in the new year. And then right below that, you can meet our speakers. So you can meet Chris and Manish. You have their email addresses there in case you want to get in contact with them. But yeah, if you have any questions, just drop them into the Q&A box. And then we have a new asset for you guys. We have our Ultimate Amazon Sellers Holiday Guide ebook. And this ebook is perfect to help you discover how you can skyrocket your sales during the holidays. We did this with our partners Asama and Suna. So we cover everything from strategies for success during the Q4 period, how you can master your Black Friday and holiday inventory plan, and then also how you can master product seasonality to really boost your sales during this period. So you can scan the QR code there to download your copy. And then you'll also get a pop-up box at the very end of the webinar to claim your free copy as well. So we want to get to know you. Please drop into the chat where you're from, your name, how long you've been selling on Amazon, what you sell. We really want to get to know you, our audience as well. And in case you're new to Mayan, we are the only inventory and PPC optimization platform that is built by MIT data scientists, and our customer success managers like Sawicki here are proven Amazon experts. So this combination of technology and expertise is really driving unrivaled FBA growth and revenue for our customers, and we're part of Y Combinator, so we're backed by Y Combinator as well. And now to get to our speakers. So we're very excited to have Sawicki and Manish Chowdhary here. Chris is an account manager here at Mayan. He started his own private label supply brand, and he did 6 figures in his first year on Amazon. So he really knows his stuff, and he now shares his expertise with our customers and other Amazon sellers to really help them grow here while they work with Mayan. And Manish here is the founder and CEO at Cahoot. He has founded multiple industry-leading companies, which he started from his dorm room at the University of Bridgeport. And he has been featured in the New York Times, Forbes, and Internet Retailers, among many other leading publications. So we really have two great people here to really speak to their knowledge. We're very excited to have them. And yeah, let's just take it away. Thank you, guys.
Yep, I can take it from here. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about planning for 2024 and what to do beforehand. One thing with Amazon is you really want to be proactive instead of reactive. So it's very good to plan, months in advance before you lay out any strategy. So the things we're going to be going over is like when you're planning a new year is what you want to focus on is what products did best in your current past year. So in this case, 2023. Any issues within those products when it comes to sourcing, lead times from manufacturers, any 3PL issues along the way, we want to identify those problems so we don't have the same issues in 2024. Another thing as well that we'll want to anticipate is how customers responded to any seasonal changes or updates made to your Amazon store. So what we can do with all the data that we have from 2023 is understand the seasonality of your product. So if you sell a specific type of product that sells really well in July, you'll want to plan ahead and make sure you have extra inventory for July to anticipate for that. And then as well as not just the success and seasonality, but the unsuccessful parts of seasonality as well. You don't want to order too much for one season and then be stuck with the inventory for 9 months after the fact, and then you're paying those high storage fees. So one thing to definitely look out for 2024 is take all of your data from 2023 and past data from previous years as well, and try to come up with a game plan so you can be right on the ball for your products. So again, number one, we'll want to look at your product performance. So if you have a top seller and you're expecting growth on that top seller, you'll want to plan ahead and make sure that you have plenty of inventory and you have budget allocated for advertising as well. Well ahead of time. I would rather be overstocked than understocked and running out of stock on a top seller. Same goes for, again, a product that's not performing well. We want to identify those right away and figure out where we can kind of trim the fat, so to speak. So why it's important is, for seasonality's sake, you're going to see spikes in sales in different times of the year. Same with trends. Trends and seasonality kind of go hand in hand as well. So if you sold, for instance, something that's kind of trendy in the moment, you don't want to plan ahead for that, 6 months to a year from now, that you would get this same, velocity in sales if you're selling a very trendy product. For example, if you're selling, let's say, magnets and you have a really funny meme that's really popular right now, you don't want to, put all your eggs in one basket for that, because, in a year from now, 6 months from now, that might not be relevant anymore. Another thing to anticipate for the future year is your branding. So you want to make sure that you're getting all your branding aligned and all your images updated. You want to be constantly refreshing your content. And then lastly, and most importantly, is profitability. There's no products that you want to hold on to that you're not making any money on. And you obviously want to make sure that you have plenty of inventory and you have a good strategy and roadmap planned out for products that you are profitable on. So next, again, it kind of ties into the profitability aspect, is we want to make sure that you ditch the products that didn't take off. So one thing that I see a lot of times is Amazon sellers will, launch 5 new products in a year. Let's just say that as a number, for example. Now, out of those 5 products, 3 of them were a great success, and the other 2 were, one was maybe not very successful in terms of velocity, but it might be profitable, and then the other product's just not profitable at all. One thing you want to do right away when you're planning for years to come is to not, kind of trim the fat on those quickly. You don't want to be stuck with that inventory of products that don't sell and that's costing you money every month. You want to get rid of it quickly. So there's a couple ways to do that with advertising, with getting rid of the inventory altogether, taking it from Amazon, participating in deals such as Prime exclusive deals, lightning deals, etc. But really what I recommend for anything that's not making you money is try to get rid of it. It's much easier to kind of start afresh a lot of times than try to fix a product that hasn't been working for years on years. So again, what to look for: items in your Amazon store that move too slow, products that take up too much FBA inventory space. This can get really costly really quickly. I've seen this time and time again, especially this time of year where storage fees are raised. You want to make sure that you're not putting everything into Amazon and then it just sits there for years. The next thing you want to look out for as well is products with low margin. And if any of these are a factor into your products, you'll definitely want to discontinue them moving forward. Okay, so how to begin for evaluating for 2024. So the first thing to do is review your sales from 2023. Like I mentioned before, kind of going over seasonality of your products, seeing what's good sellers with poor sellers, and then evaluate the success of the products launched in 2023 as well. So I kind of mentioned that already. A lot of Amazon sellers will launch multiple things at once, hoping that a higher percentage of all of them are winners, if not all of them. However, there's always, not always, but there's a lot of times cases where you launch 5 products, and like I said before, 3 of them are great and then 2 of them not so much, and then you want to definitely weed out those 2. Again, you want to review which products have had consistent negative margins and make decisions to not order more. This is very important. I've seen this time and time again where someone really believes in their product, but it's not making them money, and they're burning money for months on end. And that's okay when you're first launching a product for the first month to 2 months. I actually tell clients, I expect you to lose money, because really all you're striving for is trying to get ranked up and get good visibility and traffic to your listing. On top of that as well, you want to be offering the best discounts to your new customer base for the product. However, if 6 months down the road you're still not making a profit, you've already optimized your ads, you're still not making any money, then for the next year I would recommend sending in less, if not getting rid of altogether. It really just kind of depends on where your item's at in its life cycle. But don't be afraid to move on to a new product, and don't try to resurrect a product that's clearly not working. So in that case, if you don't want to renew it and keep inventory higher up on it, the best strategy, in my opinion, is really just to sell out of the stock and then close the listing. I don't typically recommend sending it back to yourself or a 3PL unless you have another way to sell it, unless the inventory storage is costing you an arm and a leg. There are situations where we have, requested to remove certain inventory of products that are not working out because it's costing them more in storage than they are selling. But for the most part, I'd recommend just selling through it, maybe bumping up your advertising a little bit to kind of just move the velocity a bit more, or taking down the advertising lower so you can kind of focus on the profitability as you slowly sell out. But again, it really just depends on where your item's at. And then, the next thing to note for 2024 is schedule your orders from your manufacturers and your 3PLs early. There's a lot of moving pieces, and what we've seen in 2023 and especially in 2022 is, you got to almost anticipate delays. There's a lot of different variables when ordering from a manufacturer. There can be stuff that goes wrong in the warehouses. There can be something wrong with your product that you have to get fixed. There can be shipping delays, freight delays, 3PL headaches, and whatnot. So one thing to take in consideration is getting in your orders before the holidays. This is, very important because, everything slows down in the US, at the end of Q4, and then we have Chinese New Year at the beginning of Q1 the following year. So you want to make sure you're getting your orders placed ahead of time, especially if you're ordering from China. But overall, highly recommend that you're placing your orders now for the next year, so you can plan ahead and be proactive instead of reactive. And with that being said, I'll pass it over to Manish.
Thank you, Chris. Pleasure to be here. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'll talk a little bit about Seller Fulfill Prime. We'll talk about FBA. Just by way of introduction, Cahoot is a leading order fulfillment network and next generation shipping software. We basically help brands and retailers with all things fulfillment, whether they do fulfillment from their own warehouses, or they need a network of warehouses to achieve success with the most demanding programs like Amazon Seller Fulfill Prime. So first things first, for those of you who may not be familiar with Seller Fulfill Prime, this is a comparison between your standard FBA that most people are aware of versus Seller Fulfill Prime. The Seller Fulfill Prime program was introduced by Amazon in 2015 because at that time, Amazon was facing a lot of capacity issues, Amazon could not take in everyone's inventory, but the Prime membership was growing. I mean, now there are probably over 130 million Prime subscribers in the US. And so Amazon came up with this innovative program that certain certified sellers could fulfill the orders from their own warehouses or utilizing third-party logistics, 3PLs, as long as they met the Amazon requirements of Prime eligibility. And what that means is 1 day, 2 day delivery nationwide for standard size items. So what's the difference between FBA and Seller Fulfill Prime? Both these programs will display the Prime badge on your product. So it's a great incentive because you will appear higher up on the listings. And if you're a Prime shopper shopping on Amazon, most of the time, Prime shoppers are looking for Prime deals, meaning orders and products that qualify for the Prime delivery. So it's a very important, it has dramatic impact on your sales. So if you're using FBA, you have to send in your inventory to Amazon warehouses for their shipment plan. But if you're doing Seller Fulfill Prime, you can send out that inventory to your warehouses or 3PLs. As you know, FBA charges a fixed price per SKU. You can find out through the FBA calculator, whereas in Seller Fulfill Prime, your cost will vary because you're paying the carrier, you're paying the 3PL, and so on. Storage costs or storage space. We know that FBA has been limited in storage capacity, and it can be very expensive. Q4 storage is 3 to 4 times as expensive as Q1 to Q3, which itself is very expensive. You know, I was at the Amazon AMZ Innovate conference just yesterday, and what I learned was that in 2014, Amazon was taking about 23% as the total take rate. When you think about the fees that sellers would pay to Amazon, when you combine FBA fee, you combine the referral bonus, the success fee, and now that percentage is almost double to about a little over 50%. So 50 cents on the dollar goes to Amazon. This is because of all the storage fee increases and so on. FBA is great. If you have a fast moving item, you know, you can set it and forget it. They take care of everything. However, for your long tail seasonal SKUs that may or may not be moving, FBA can get quite expensive. Second, FBA is not so great for large and bulky items. It's a myth that people think FBA is the cheapest or it's very cheap. Quite the contrary. In fact, when you add up all of these, you will realize that FBA is convenient, but not always the most economical option. So we talked about the fees that in case of FBA, if you're fulfilling an order that originates on Amazon.com, you're charged a different fee than if you were to fulfill an order from a different channel. Let's say at eBay or your website, Shopify, they call it multi-channel fulfillment, and those fees are higher. Whereas if you're utilizing Seller Fulfill Prime program using a network such as Cahoot or your own warehouses, you don't pay extra to ship a Amazon order versus a Walmart order versus your Shopify order. As a matter of fact, it is against Walmart's terms of service to utilize FBA to ship Walmart orders. Something to pay attention to. So Seller Fulfill Prime, it is a very demanding program because it's the same set of metrics that Amazon is promising to the Prime shopper. So the 3 salient aspects of this program is you need to deliver on time at least 93.5% of the time. You need to provide valid tracking, which is a valid tracking number 99% of the time. So you cannot just claim that you shipped the item when, if the tracking is not accurate, you will get penalized. Cancellation rate, maximum 0.5%, meaning you can only cancel 1 out of 200 orders. If you cancel more than that because you don't have inventory or you cannot ship it on time or whatever the reason may be, those things will get you disqualified from this program. Now, let's talk about delivery speed metrics. This is the most important criteria to meet Amazon Seller Fulfill Prime. So most of Amazon products are classified by size tiers: standard size, oversized, and extra large. Extra large was just recently introduced as far as FBA and Seller Fulfill Prime is concerned. So for standard size items, you must deliver at least 30% within 1 day and 70% of the orders within 2 days. But I'll delve into this in a little bit, and you can explain to you the more finer aspects of how this metric is calculated. It is a rolling 7-day average, goes from Sunday through Saturday. So it's not a daily metric. So you have to make sure that you're staying on top of this. And you may have had a great performance last week. And if your performance suffers this week, you have to start all over again. So it's not something you can rest on your laurels. So what is delivery promise or delivery speed metric? As you're all familiar with the Amazon product details page, and this screenshot may look familiar from a mobile screenshot, it'll tell you when will this product arrive. In this particular example, it'll arrive tomorrow. So this product meets 1 calendar day promise. So if the customer viewed this product page before your same day cutoff time, Amazon does require all Prime SFP merchants to have 2 p.m. as the minimum cutoff time. You cannot, during Monday through Friday, you must accept the orders until 2 p.m. for same day shipping. So in this example, if the page was viewed on Monday before 2 p.m., then that product can ship the same day and it'll arrive on Tuesday. So that meets 1 calendar day promise. And also it meets the 2 calendar day because 1 day is less than 2. However, let's say somebody looked at this page at 7 p.m. That's past the cutoff time for shipping that day, meaning you cannot ship that product and hand it to the carrier that day, which means this product will ship Tuesday, arrive Wednesday. So it does not meet 1 day promise, but it meets 2 calendar days or 2 day promise. This is how Amazon computes your 1 day, 2 day page speed metrics. And that is very deceiving because it's not how many days it takes for the product to travel and get into the customer hand from the time you give it to the carrier, but it's all based on the page speed that is promised to the customer. And things get really bad on the weekends because let's say that same customer looked at your product page after cutoff time on Saturday. Let's say it was 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Now that product, if you're not working on Sunday, because most carriers do not pick up on Sundays either, and you cannot ship it on Saturday, this product will ship on Monday, arrive on Tuesday, so it fails both 1 day and 2 day promise. So it does not count towards that metric. So none of these page views will count towards your page speed metrics, and you need to make that speed up. So this is the bird's eye view of, if every one of your deliveries were to arrive in 1 business day, let's say you were to use UPS or FedEx, even in that scenario, your listing will not show 1 day because after the cutoff time, that product cannot arrive the next day. So it's a very, very tricky metric for sellers to stay on top of, and which is what makes this program so difficult and so demanding. And Cahoot is one of the very few networks or 3PL networks that can handle this kind of complexity and demand because it's so easy for sellers to fail on their metrics. Their account, the SFP permissions can be revoked, and it will be very difficult for sellers to get back on the SFP eligibility. So very, very important that sellers are aware of this because it's often misunderstood. So what does it take to meet this SFP delivery promise? If you had only 2 locations, 2 strategically located warehouses, I might add, in this particular example, you can look in New York and Southern California, you will not meet the 1 day delivery promise because you can only cover about 10% of the population, 10% page view metrics using our own internal evaluation. If you had 4 locations, yes, you will meet the 2 day promise, through four locations, but you'll have difficulty meeting 1-day promise for standard size items. For 1-day promise to meet for standard size items, you will need 8 to 9 strategically located locations. So it's a lot of strategically located warehouses that have to collaborate in real time to make SFP program a success. And there are many reasons why you should choose to go with SFP as opposed to FBA. For example, we talked a little bit about big and bulky items. They're cheaper to sell from SFP. Once you have this infrastructure set up, now you can turn on 1-day, 2-day badge on Walmart, on eBay, on every marketplace. Now, obviously, as we talked earlier, you are not allowed to ship your Walmart orders from Amazon. You don't want to pay more to ship your eBay and Shopify orders because the customers expect the same speed. They want to expect the same conversion expectations. So there are many benefits. There are other challenges like hazmat. Amazon will not ship those internationally. So if all your inventory is kept captive in FBA, you're out of luck. And sometimes you have difficulty getting your inbounds into Amazon because they're slow, and the storage costs besides everything else. So there are many reasons. While FBA program is great, SFP can be quite a benefit and beneficial for many merchants. Another example, you cannot send chocolates during the summertime because Amazon does not promise temperature control. So there are many, you cannot do personalized branding. So if you want all your products to arrive in this Amazon branded Prime boxes, then it's okay. But if you're trying to build a brand on and off Amazon, this program can be quite beneficial. So Amazon, as I shared earlier, this program was discontinued, or rather it was put on hold, and no new sellers were allowed to apply for this program until after 2019. It was just reopened in October of this year. So just about 6 weeks ago, Amazon reopened it. We believe it has something to do, or at least in part, with the FTC lawsuit against Amazon. To FTC, Federal Trade Commission, has filed an antitrust lawsuit to enable sellers and urge Amazon to become more competitive and provide sellers with more options. So they opened this program up. They're taking new sellers. You can apply for this today if you like. But they made some changes to the SFP program, and I'll go over them briefly. Now they want you to deliver your orders, SFP, Seller Fulfilled Prime orders, on time at least 93.5% of the time. And these changes are different than what the program was previously, and I'll cover that in the next few slides. So you can compare what has changed, why, is it good for you, not so good. The second big change was Amazon expects you to offer free delivery now for all SKUs that are Prime eligible or SFP across the country. That's also a change from previously for oversized items. Sellers could only offer that product free shipping in certain region that could be delivered in 1 to 2 days. But now you have to offer free delivery nationwide, continental US. Then last big change was Amazon Buy Shipping. Previously, if you were to ship an order as a Prime order from your own warehouse, you must buy the postage or the shipping label from Amazon. And there were many challenges with that. There were limitations with that. Amazon heard it's a positive change for the sellers that they now make it optional. You can buy your label anywhere as long as you deliver that order on time. So moving on, what's the key change in the old program versus the newly revamped program that was just introduced on October 1? Previously, you had to ship on time, and Amazon, as long as you shipped your orders on time and handed it to the carrier, you would be okay. But now, Amazon cares more about on-time delivery. And there are some positives to this, but also we don't know how Amazon is going to react and respond to carrier delays. We all have seen this. There's inclement weather. There's other challenges many times with the carriers. UPS delivers an order late for no fault of yours. How will that translate into action is yet to be known, because again, this new changes are only 6 weeks old. We're monitoring that carefully on our side through our portfolio of clients that are enrolled into SFP, but Amazon does care, making sure that your products get to the end customers on time. So this, how is this a positive? So it is positive. So in this particular example, previously, let's say you got an order after cutoff time from a customer in Philadelphia. So let's say your New York warehouse cutoff time was 2 p.m. and you got an order at 4 p.m. Previously, because you had to ship the same day, you had to ship that order cross-country from California and probably use expensive 2-day air shipping, and that order had to be shipped because Amazon was tracking the ship date time. However, now, because you could ship tomorrow the same to this customer from New York, and it can still arrive on time using the inexpensive or affordable ground service. So this is a positive change, because now you can balance this and ship from the closest location that can still deliver on time. So you must stay on top of your carrier SLAs, meaning making sure that your carriers are delivering the products on time. Otherwise, you'll have a problem on your hands. Now, other big change was Amazon now expects you to deliver even faster. If you thought that Prime was fast enough, wait for this change, which just took place 6 weeks ago. So all items across the board are expected to ship faster. And that's one of the Amazon's competitive advantages against their competitors like Walmart, who are yet to catch up with that Amazon's speed of delivery. So for standard size items, now you must deliver 30% of the time in 1 day, 70% of the time 2 days. We saw how many warehouses you need to make that happen. They all need to talk to each other. Order routing becomes very, very crucial. And that's why we have this fantastic shipping software. Even if you don't wish to outsource your fulfillment to Cahoot, you can leverage the Cahoot's amazing technology with whoever you work with or choose to work with. So there's some, check that out if you're interested. For oversized items, also now, these are big, bulky. Any item that's over 20 pounds would generally be classified as oversized, are also expected to ship faster. And the new tier that was just introduced, extra large, which applies to items weighing 50 pounds or more, or they have a length, the longest side is greater than 96 inches, or if it's a TV, then greater than 40 inches. Even those are expected at least 15% of the time to arrive within 2 days. So across the board, Amazon expects you to ship faster. So the other big change, as I shared earlier, that oversized SKUs must ship nationwide. And why this matters is previously, let's say you were selling, blenders, the big, heavy, kitchen appliances. You could just cordon off and create a shipping template that if you were located in California, I only want to target these states because I can deliver using inexpensive UPS ground, FedEx ground within 1 or 2 days, and you didn't care about offering that product to, say, customers in New York, but that's no longer the case. Now, that product must be available. Yes, you can take 3 to 5 days. However, the biggest rub is it is going to impact your page speed metrics, or those page views that we talked about, because all of a sudden now your blender is available for the customer in New York to see, for the customers in Florida and Texas and Chicago. So relative to the number of page views that you had, now none of those page views contribute towards your 1 day, 2 day speed metrics, and that is going to really impact your page view metrics, and that's why you need multiple warehouses, even for oversized SKUs. Regional SFP is no longer possible. But the positive of that is you can, of course, get more sales, but you do need more locations. Amazon Buy Shipping is optional. We talked about this, that you can now purchase your label using any software. You don't have to get it from Amazon. There were many cases that we've experienced because we are one of the folks who have been doing SFP very successfully for a long time, that we would encounter unexplainable errors from Amazon. Sometimes you expect a UPS ground service to be available, but Buy Shipping does not return that. So you have to now purchase a very expensive label, or you have to go fight Amazon, provide them with the justification why you shipped using outside of Buy Shipping. None of that going forward. So this is a positive change. And Cahoot obviously supports, our software supports Buy Shipping as well. This is something that Amazon had introduced earlier when they disclosed that they were going to reopen the program. They were going to charge 2% of the item price, or 25 cents minimum per unit if you wanted to participate in Seller Fulfill Prime. And then came the FTC lawsuit, and then Amazon decided that that wasn't worth it, so they canceled that. So that's positive news. So that's all I have for today. I want to hand it back to Babs and Chris.
Sure. Thank you so much, Manish. That was really, really insightful. I'm sure our audience took away a ton of nice insights that they really hadn't considered before. If you have any questions, please be sure to send them in through our Q&A box. And while we wait for any questions to come, I just wanted to touch on our free ad audit. So what is an Amazon advertising audit? So what we do here at Mayan is that our Amazon and PPC experts take a multifaceted approach in auditing your advertising to ensure that you are getting the most organic and ad sales for your budget. So what we do is we provide sellers that claim their free ad audit with a 20+ page report that includes recommended opportunities to reduce budget while you maintain your same sales, or even 2x or 3x your sales within the same budget. So our experts review everything from your types of products to your keywords to your campaign structures and many, many more assets and characteristics of your FBA business. And then that's when they deliver that report with recommended strategies that you can follow. We know that obviously your privacy is of utmost importance to you. So please rest assured your data always remains confidential. We don't keep anything. We don't store anything. We only analyze it to identify all these areas of growth and opportunities, and everything remains completely confidential. So if you're interested, you can claim your free ad audit today, and we'll reveal how we can boost your ROAS with your current budget or even less. I think our audience has no questions, so we can wrap it up. Thank you so much, Chris and Manish. That was a great webinar. And I hope our audience feels ready and set to kick off their 2024 successfully. So thank you guys so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Babs, and thanks everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayan, for having me. Happy holidays and best of luck in Q4. Hope you have a spectacular selling season, and with all the tips today, you're ready to rock and roll in 2024 and have even more success. So thank you again.
Thanks, everyone.